time consumption, and sometimes it just doesn't really pay, and I'm just like, I need to make money, I got bills to pay. But through years of like self-correcting, working on more little online projects, I eventually had like, and I did like whenever they would do stuff in like Dallas filming wise, I do like background stuff, so I just had like a little healthy resume, theater work, some like indie voiceover stuff, and the on-camera stuff. And I just submitted a resume to Funimation, and maybe like almost a year later, I got like called in for an open call. I believe the auditions was for a anime called Level E. Auditioned for that. Joel McDonald was directing that one, and he seemed impressed. I got called in for a little bit of Walla for that one, but the one that was like my first big thing was an anime called Toriko. And I think I auditioned for Toriko, I think a guy named Coco, and then the narrator. And then it was funny. I come in, I'm just sounding like a young boy. It's a little more textured now when I've gotten older, but I sounded so pure. Then I would say, "It has been said, this is the gourmet age, when the world's manliest heroes quest for yet undiscovered culinary delights." And Tyler Walker, the director, was like, "I did not expect that voice to come out of you." And then like a week later, it's like, "You got cast." I was like, and then my first session, I come in and was like, I wonder if they can pick up my heartbeat on the mic, because my heart is pounding. So that was kind of, and then from there, I've just been kind of, thankfully they've called me in. And this was before simuldubs, like, where you'd be like, products maybe like every 3 or 4 months, you get like a new audition for something. But now it's just like, it's a quick turnaround, are you available this week? Yeah, come on in, we need a warm body in the booth. But yeah, it's been quite the journey from the transition to like the slow pace to like now the much breakneck speed of the dubs nowadays.
Yeah. And it's funny because most everybody that I know in the industry kind of fell into it, and I decided to like charge headlong in, knowing exactly what I wanted. I was pursuing acting in LA. I've wanted to be an actor since I was like 5 years old, but I always only thought of on camera for some reason, which to this day still kind of baffles me because I grew up playing video games and watching anime, so I don't really know why that never clicked in my head that I could be a voice actor and not just an on-camera actor. But I moved to Austin from LA, and I kind of had it in the back of my head that, it's not as big of a market. I'm gonna need to be a little bit more creative and diversify what I do if I want to continue doing the arts for a living. And I had a couple of friends who I was talking it over with, and they were like, you have a good voice, you have the acting training, you play video games and watch anime, like, why don't you do voice acting? And I was like, why don't I do voice acting? And little did I realize that I had actually stumbled into like one of the best states that you can like live in to pursue the type of voiceover that I specifically wanted to do. And so I did a bunch of research. I ended up putting together a demo reel on my own, and then I just started like politely but aggressively marketing myself to like any and all companies in the area that like I knew could hire me. And I think that I emailed Funimation like every month for 8 months until they finally brought me in to audition. And my first audition was Attack on Titan.
Oh, nice!
Oh man,
you mean it, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I got the call, and Austin is about 3.5 or 4 hours away from Dallas. And I got the call in the morning, and they were like, "Can you be here in the afternoon for an audition?" And I was like, "Oh, absolutely, thank you for inviting me." While I'm like internally like panicking, like, I've gotta get in the car right now. And I called my best friend, because I actually hadn't heard of Attack on Titan beforehand. And I called him and I was like, "Hey, I'm auditioning for this anime, I'm driving, I can't look it up. Like, I need you to tell me a little bit of the plot and about the characters so I know what I'm walking into, and I can, have a more informed audition." And he was like, "Wait, what did you say the name was?" And I was like, "Attack on Titan." And he was like, "You're auditioning for that?" And I was like, "Okay, never mind. Like, I'm gonna hang up. You're gonna freak me out too much."
That's so cool. It's so pure. It's like, yeah, Ah! No, I know that feeling so much. It's like, okay, cool, I'll be there. What, you need me in an hour? 890 miles on the highway. Hope the cops don't pull me over. Any other